Okay, I did. I left 8 years ago, and I thought I was truly turning my back on this whole sport. I thought I was making a choice between this sport and my family. And, every prize has its price, and for me, the prize of my family was worth that price. What you've done here, though, is you've let me win both ways, because when you invited me back, it was Darlington last year. Kate will tell you, I was scared. I was scared to come back. I was scared you guys wouldn't accept me. I was scared that I just pissed everybody off. And the way you received me was unbelievable. So I didn't give up something for my family. I realized through all this that I've gained a family. I know what the NASCAR family is now. It's the craziest thing. Thank you for giving me that. Okay, so tonight it's about gratitude, all right? There's a lot of talent, a lot of hard work. Every man up here, I've looked up to you guys. I mean, we watched that video of you, Ricky. It's unbelievable. But what I've realized is none of us, myself especially, did this alone, so required so much help. And so tonight's all about gratitude. You guys met my mom, and I want to start with my family, with her and my dad. My mom was told she could not have kids. Kids weren't going to be part of her life. My dad was told when he was 14 years old that he wasn't going to live past 30. He had a heart condition. Dad's watching tonight from home, and Dad, I only learned that recently. That would have made all the decisions and the way you lived your life make a lot of sense if I'd have known that earlier. You tell a guy with these genetics he's not going to live till 30, just hold your beer. So Mom and Dad got married. Mom turned up pregnant. And so they made a choice. They made a choice to be parents. It wasn't in the plan. And they made a choice for me and for my brother. And as Kenny and I talked about what I would say about my mom, it's that. It's that, Mom, when you make a choice to do something, the world better watch out. You're unbelievable. You raised us just as the best mom. And it wasn't just me and Kenny. You made a choice to be a mom to all the kids in the neighborhood. Everybody came to our house. Kenny told you, we ruled the back half of the neighborhood. I had a sister, I had cousins and people that hung out with us, and you just called them family. Thank you. Every day I realize that you're greater and greater every single day. And now Kenny and I were in a lot of trouble, and Mom needed a little bit of help. And so I had a second mom, Aunt Terry, who's home watching tonight. And the story goes that I cried, for the first month or two. Aunt Terry was the one that noticed that I needed more food. So thank you, Aunt Terry, for that. My dad, I know you're watching, and you got to know a couple things. My dad inspired me. I wanted to be my dad. Okay, I grew up in Central Missouri in the 80s, guys. I had the internet at my house, if you can believe that, and it was my dad. He's the smartest, most interesting, curious, resourceful, funny, fearless, just the most amazing man that I knew of. And he inspired me through all those traits in his racing to go chase this dream. And I think one of the neatest things that's happened to me in the last 10 years of my life has been Dad and I putting all the BS behind us, because we butted heads a lot. And in the last year or two, becoming true friends like fathers and sons should be. It's been really special, Dad. Thank you. So, you guys met my brother up here. Kenny, thank you for being here with Beth, Max, and Lou. My brother's just the better version of me. It's as simple as that. Everybody, so Stephen Garber's here. Stephen Garber says, and I think this is brilliant, he said, if the people who know you best like you, you're doing something right. And it's a big deal. Think about that. As people get to know my brother, Kenny, they just like you more and more. That's a fact. An embarrassing case in point, the other day, my own two children, Mike and Annie, we were talking about how great Kenny was, because we do that, even when you're not around. And they said, yeah, Dad, you're kind of tough to talk to, and we got something on our minds, but don't worry, we always got Uncle Kenny. Oh, that one hit me. So Mom and Dad didn't stay together. I realize now, two people with these genetics existed. You guys should get an award for the time you spent. It's unbelievable. You lasted a long time. And In a rare situation where a divorce wasn't a negative thing, it was positive for us because we gained Jim Sterling, an amazing stepfather. We gained Jay Thrash, an amazing stepmother. Okay, so the most important person in the room tonight, if I do nothing else up here, is to tell you, Kate, that I love you, that you are the best thing ever happened in my life. Your family, the Downey family, is unbelievable. I mean, I'm married so far up, guys. It's unreal. And I wish your grandma and your Uncle Carl were here tonight to see this. We've been married 16 years, okay? She tells people, feels like 16 minutes. Underwater. Guys, I am a tough person to be around, okay? I am. John Marsh and Ash Marsh are here tonight. They're helping me work on that. It's been the most important thing in my life is to learn how to love you the way that you deserve to be loved. You're an amazing mom. Annie, Mike, I know you're having fun tonight. Mike's been meeting every car owner he can. Just ease up, buddy. You're the best kids the best kids I could have ever imagined, beyond my wildest dreams. Okay, so let's get to some racing. So you guys saw that modified, all right? That white modified and a blue one. Those cars took way more than our family had. And we talked about that a little bit, but it took a lot. I have a lot of friends, a lot of people here tonight from Columbia, Missouri. Anybody from Columbia, Missouri? All right. I had a lot of friends, okay? I'm going to tell you one story that tells you about my friends. I'm going to pick one. It was 1999 or 2000. We're leading the points, racing against tough guys. Howard Hall, Roger Mosher, all the guys at Capital Speedway. Had a few races left in the season. And see, we would do a nut and bolt check before every race because we had read that Frankie Stoddard, 99 guys, and you guys, you did that stuff. You checked every nut and bolt, so that's what we did. Getting ready to start the feature about 15 minutes before we're going to strap in. Carl Jockey, my good friend who's here tonight, Dr. Carl Jockey, he says, toss me a screwdriver. So grab a screwdriver, toss it to him. Bounces off the trailer, right in the eye, okay? He hit the ground. I mean hit the ground, writhing in the dirt. Carl's tough. Now, I know this because he used to beat me up all the time when we were kids. All right, he's a tough man. I went over and I was like, oh my gosh, let me see your eye. And he pulled his hand off his eye and it was swollen and red. It was so nasty. I panicked. I said, I'm going to the ambulance. I ran to the ambulance. I got there. They said, we'll get to it. We got a race going on. We'll come over there in a few minutes. I ran back and I thought, oh my gosh, I've ruined his sight. I messed up his life. He's 20 years old. Got back to the car. He's checking header bolts. I was like, okay. I said, hey, man, how's the eye? He looked at me. It looked awful. He goes, I can see out of it perfectly. It doesn't hurt. I'm good. I was like, hallelujah. We dodged a bullet. So I get in the car, go out, run the race. We won. I come in, Darren, Steve, Josh, all the guys are there, Kevin. And I'm like, where's Carl? And they're like, he's in the ambulance. I'm like, he's in the ambulance. What happened? And they're like, you poked his eye out with the screwdriver. I said, no, you guys, you weren't paying attention. I talked to him. His eye was fine. They said, Carl Jockey, when you ran to that ambulance, he got up and he said, guys, listen, here's what we're going to do. We're going to act like this is fine because he can't win this race if he's that upset. Now, your eye's fine, right? We're good? Okay. We were told afterwards, when we went to the hospital, they showed the front of his eye was missing. They said it's the most painful injury a human can sustain. And my friend, at 20 years old, realized that my career was worth more than your pain, more than the money you paid for the pit pass and mine. And those are the friends that I had that got me to NASCAR. I love you, man. All right, so then we're running the dirt races. I'm like, man, I got this dream. And I found Mike Mittler. And man, I wore him out. He quit taking my calls. He told me not to come around. But he didn't kick me off the property. And so he did give me a chance, though, after a couple years of that. I don't know why, but he did. He gave me a chance to drive that truck. Bill and Janet Polich are here. Dennis Killian's here. Hoffmans are watching from Volusia. That changed my life. I got in this truck, and it was unbelievable. Driving these things was everything I'd ever dreamed of. We ran 6 or 7 races. We were getting ready to go the next season to Daytona. About 2 weeks before, got this phone call. I think it was from Max Jones. It's a phone call that every driver wanted to get at that time from Roush Racing. And they said, you wouldn't believe it, Kyle Busch left, and we need you to drive this 99 truck. And it was the greatest opportunity I could have ever imagined. Dennis and I were in the shop, and the only problem was I had to walk up the hill and talk to Mike about this. I walked up there. Mike was a very intimidating guy. I said, Mike, I just got a call from Roush Racing. Kyle left. I think they're going to let me drive that 99 truck. He jumped up from behind the desk, and I thought, oh, he's pissed. And he stuck out his hand. He said, this is the opportunity of a lifetime. You got to go. I got your back. And it changed my world. So I know Mike is looking down on us tonight. I know Bev is watching. Mike, you changed my life. You changed so many racers' lives. You gave so much to this sport. Thank you so much. So then I go to Roush Racing. Whoa. I mean, this is everything I had ever dreamed of. Resources, Roush Yates engines, driving for Ford Motor Company. Edsel's here tonight. It was crazy. I learned so many things. I learned so many things from Jack, from my crew chiefs. Doug Richards here, Jimmy Finnig. I mean, it was unreal. I had the best teammates in the world. I was the worst teammate in the world, but I had the best teammates in the world. You guys tolerated me. You taught me so much. During that time, I learned that word, teamwork, was the most important thing in life, period. I carry it with me every day. I had pit crews, people, I thought, well, you guys live it. If the whole world operated like NASCAR operates, it'd be unbelievable. And what I mean by that is guys who weren't afraid to do whatever it took, super high quality, time away from their family, all that. And I'll never forget the day I realized these guys are here to work was in that 60 car with Brad Parrott, and that was a fast car. We had about an hour of practice, 30 minutes in. I'm like, this car is bad to the bone. I mean, we're half a second faster than everybody. I come in, Brad says, what do you need? I said, nothing. I don't need anything. I'm good. And he said, okay, no, but something. What do you need? I pushed the button. I said, nothing. He came over, took the window net down, took his radio off, and he said, let me explain something to you. He said, we got 12 guys that want to work on this damn race car. You better come up with something, all right now. So puts the radio back on. I'm like, I think the wheel could move an inch. All right, guys, let's get at it. So that is what I had at Roush Racing. And all that work, it comes at a sacrifice. And I want to say this loud and clear to everybody one more time. We've said it a lot, but it can't be said enough. The families of all these guys given up so much for this sport. So guys like me, guys like Ricky, that we can get in those cars and have all that fun. That means a lot. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for that sacrifice. All right, this one's important to me because a couple of you are here. Competitors. It's my one regret, the one thing I did wrong in this sport. I did not understand that I wasn't a race car driver without competitors to race against. I did not respect that. I did not understand. If I had been a little bit more mature, a little bit less self-centered, had a little more perspective, I'd have loved and respected you guys like brothers off the racetrack. We could have been mortal enemies on it, but I missed that opportunity. And I got to thank you from the bottom of my heart, because now looking back, I realize it's you guys that made this so great. So thank you for that, guys. Okay. Now this is important to me too, and there's some kids here, and it's important for me to say this for them. And you guys might, it, but anyway, there was a time in my career my competitors helped me in another way. See, because I came in with a passion. I wanted to race more than anything. I'd have given anything to just be in the car. I didn't care about anything else. And then it got kind of interesting. You're winning. You're like, I'm kind of a big deal, And started walking around, and I cared more than I should have, about what I looked like, what people thought of me, whether I was tough enough, whether I made enough money. And you guys found the cracks in that facade of reputation. Okay, and you pointed them out, and it hurt. I thought, these people don't know me. Why are they treating me this way? And then I realized it's because you're kind of becoming a and you'll know this period because I didn't have my shirt on the whole time, okay? And so I had to realize that there's a huge difference between reputation and character, huge. And you helped me to develop that character and understand that no matter how much shiny stuff there is around, it's who you really are that matters. So thank you for that. All right, now to the fans. We got a lot of Ed heads here tonight. Ed heads? Awesome. I The fans make this sport happen. Jack Roush would say, hey, look, we could all go race around the field, Carl. It's a hell of a lot more fun if people are watching. And I'm like, you're right. It's not just fun when you're watching. I learned this through one of the long losing streak. I remember thinking, man, I am irrelevant here. We're slow, we're struggling. And I remember one time walking out of the hauler, going to the car to qualify, and people like, put it on the pole, do all this. And I'm thinking, I'll be lucky if we qualify 30th. We're so bad. And it was somebody wearing a 99 something that said something so uplifting and so kind to me. Just, Carl, you're the greatest. We got your back. We love you no matter what, something like that. And that's what got me through that day. And I realized then that the fans really were a part of my career. I love you guys. I cannot say enough about you. So thank you to all the fans. So I did walk away in 2016, and that was an amazing year. The 2 years there I got to drive for Coach Joe Gibbs were spectacular. I did. I drove for Mike, Jack, and Coach, three of the greatest men in the sport. And the time with Coach Gibbs, I learned a lot of things. I saw that there's a reason you've won all the things you have. You are one of the greatest leaders of men in the history of the world. I really believe that. I've never seen anything like it. Your faith has inspired me in so many ways. I don't even know how to, I'll tell you about that in a minute. But 2016, we won 19 races as a team. Homestead was one of the best races I've run in my life, okay? And I don't care that, we don't have that championship. I knew about 20 laps to go in that race what it felt like to have a championship team, to run a championship race with Dave Rogers and those guys. That was special. That restart didn't work out. And this is something, the theme of this is gratitude. And this is going to sound strange, but I'm so grateful that we didn't win that championship. I'm so grateful because it gave me time to go home and think about a few things. And I looked at my career. It was beyond my wildest dreams. Beyond my wildest dreams. I didn't know my kids. And because of brave men like Dale Earnhardt Jr. and other athletes, I was keenly aware that there are real risks to hitting your head over and over. And I said, hey, this season's done. I'm going to move to the next one. And walking in your office, Coach Gibbs, I know Kyle was in there 5 minutes before trying to get you, let him drive in the Indy 500 or something. And you were like, all right, what do you got? When I told you what I wanted to do, just like Mike Mittler had done all those years before, you jumped up from behind the desk and you said, this is important to you. I got your back, and I'm going to make this happen for you. And you didn't have to say that, okay? You changed my family's life. You gave me permission to go do something that I needed to do. And if you have ever questioned anything about how you were as a father, I want you to know you are the model father, the way you had a relationship with your sons. I saw that. I try to emulate that. We talk about it every single day in our homes. Thank you for everything you've done for me. Thank you. All right. So, since leaving, people always ask me, what have you been doing? Well, we tried farming a little bit. I'm the worst farmer you ever met. I did not go completely Amish, all right, folks? I know that theme's out there. What I've really been doing is trying to focus on the things that nobody else is going to do in my life. And that is to try to be a good husband to you, Kate. Try to be a good father to you, Annie and Mike. And the most interesting thing that's happened is, and I wasn't sure how to share this with y'all. I used to roll my eyes when people would talk about this stuff, but I need to say it. About a year and a half ago, I realized probably the most revelatory thing in my entire life. It changed everything for me. I realized that all that time in the car, all that time in the shop, all the people that loved me, cared about me, helped me, my friends, my family, the amazing opportunities, all these miracles, okay, that I wasn't alone, that God is real, God was beside me, and you don't know how perfect the timing is that you invited me back here, because you guys, for this one person, all right, I'm one guy, you were the signposts. You were the echoes of sound that showed me that. So you didn't just give me racing. You gave me an amazing life. I can't wait to see what you guys leave here and go do. I'm so excited to see some of you at the racetrack this year. Thanks again for the honor. Thanks for making me a part of your family. Thank you, NASCAR.